How to get your wife back after a divorce. Two key distinctive aspects. Hi everyone. In this video, I'll share the secrets that work in most cases. I'll talk about how to get your wife back after a divorce, a process which has a couple of important peculiarities that you should pay attention to. First, you need to understand what kind of a situation you're in at this moment. It often happens that a man chases his wife for a while after the couple has separated because he's emotional. He tries to get her back, but she just distances herself further. If this is your case, you'll need to follow a particular behavior model. A bit later in this video, I'll talk about another case when a divorce had been finalized a long time ago, more than 6 months. The emotions have subsided and there's some backdrop of stability and calm communication, which can be used to move in. If you keep chasing your wife but she keeps rejecting you, you need to stop, because that doesn't work. Yes, you may feel that you need to act right away, you can't be idle, etc. But in my experience, having consulted on over 2,000 cases, this almost never works. When this continues for a long time, it only annoys your wife, and eventually she doesn't want to have anything to do with you. A man that chases isn't attractive in the eyes of a woman because he doesn't value himself. He's too needy. Needy people aren't attractive. Meaning, you may feel sad for a homeless man on the street. You may even give him money, but that doesn't mean you want to be close to him, have a relationship with him. Your wife may communicate with you out of pity, but that's not a good foundation for a happy relationship. A happy family consists of a man who's attractive to his wife, with whom she feels comfortable and desired. If he's attractive but she doesn't feel comfortable with him, the marriage will likely fall apart. The marriage may also fall apart if he stops being attractive but continues to serve his wife, as she may eventually become attracted to another man. It's important for a woman that a man shows himself, takes the lead in the family, and values and loves her and himself. People who value themselves are more attractive. Those who don't value themselves and do everything for their family may eventually find themselves facing a divorce. A man recently visited me and explained that he wanted to get his wife back. It seemed that he understood the reasons for their divorce and had worked on them. But she still didn't want to come back. Why was that happening, he asked. There are 2 reasons this could have happened. First, the man didn't understand the key problems the couple was having and possibly corrected something else. It often happens that the man is very negative and angry, and the wife isn't comfortable being around him. In these situations, many men think that if they just get a new wardrobe, smile more, seem better, everything will automatically be fine. But they don't consider that they ooze negativity, that they keep saying the same things, and that the wife wants to run away from exactly this type of behavior. The second reason for nothing getting better is when the man has figured everything out and fixed the issues that led to the marriage falling apart, but hasn't demonstrated his changes sufficiently. His wife simply doesn't trust that everything will be well. She still doubts him. For example, he may have been overweight but got into shape. Yes, the wife sees these changes, but that doesn't signal to her that her husband has changed in key aspects. Just losing weight is not enough. If he's lost weight but is still negative like he was before, then he hasn't become more attractive to her. It's important to change not only your appearance, but your emotional state of being as well. You need to influence your wife in the correct way to create positive expectations in her, and then she'll want to come back. Here's a step-by-step plan for getting your wife back after the divorce. First, you need to assess your current situation. Here are the possible options. You chase her, she pushes you away, saying something like, "I have no feelings for you, leave me alone." But you keep on chasing her, texting her all the time, etc. And all that happens is that she pushes you away even harder, becoming ruder every time. This only lowers your chances of getting her back later. The second option is when you are still sort of communicating, but no one really wants anything. It seems to be okay, but not really. The third is when your relationship waxes and wanes all the time, and you have a mixed dynamic. This points to the fact that your wife still has feelings, but she's in doubt. So she finds herself on an emotional roller coaster. The fourth option is when the couple is barely communicating. Here are the recommendations for those times when the husband is chasing the wife or the dynamic is mixed. Limit your contact with her to 3 to 4 times a week. This means you need to nearly stop talking or texting her. Only do so if there's a dire need. You should still communicate with your children, of course. Don't initiate any contact for any reason. It's important to figure out the reasons she left and what she's been missing. You can then influence her later in the correct way. Compare yourself at the beginning of the relationship with who you've become leading up to the divorce. It's important to understand which traits and actions have been lost in the course of your relationship and what is missing now. Or determine what negativity has been added that you should get rid of. We're talking about what could have affected your relationship negatively. For example, at the beginning of the relationship, you might have been a happy-go-lucky guy. You complimented her, thanked her, gave her flowers. By the time your divorce came around, you were in a tough emotional spot. You were negative and you scolded her. A good balance in a relationship is saying 5 positive things to 1 negative. If your balance was different, that could have been a reason for the divorce. Right now, she expects to be unhappy with you if she returns, so she doesn't want to come back, no matter how much you try to talk her into it. While she has these negative expectations in her head, which were formed through experience of your relationship, she will not come back. You need to influence those expectations and change them. If you succeed, it will be much easier getting her back. But it doesn't work to just tell her that you've changed and that everything will be great. You need proof and examples of exactly how you've changed. For that, I've developed a method of indirect influence, the essence of which is to show your changes in such a way as to bypass her inner defense. I recommend using social media and her environment, as well as writing special stories which will show the ways you've changed. It's important to talk about what's already happened and not what you're planning to do. For example, on social media, you can talk about how you're planning to go to the gym and start losing weight. Or you can post a picture of yourself in better shape. It often happens that you're ruled by your emotions and it's difficult to control them. It seems that there's a plan and understanding of what to do, but you still make mistakes. It's possible that your wife is testing you and you may fail in your attempts, throwing the relationship back to ground zero. In this case, I recommend engaging someone like a therapist or a coach to help you work on your emotions and your pains. They will help you avoid a situation where you succeed in getting her back, only to have your emotional volcano erupt again and have her leave a second time. It'll be much harder getting her back in this case, so it's very important to prepare yourself emotionally. I had a case of a man who was rude to his girlfriend when he drank. She left, and he was able to learn to control himself, finally getting her back. He was fine for some time, but then he went back to his old ways, got drunk, and scolded her again. So she left again. The most important thing is to change and improve yourself the correct way. You need to prepare and demonstrate to her that you've really changed. Only then will you see a thaw in the relationship with your wife, and she will initiate contact with you herself. When this happens, it's important to ask her out on a date, just the two of you, sans children, and have a great time together. Of course, you can also spend time with the children around, but if you want her to fall back in love with you and feel the same emotions she did at the beginning of the relationship, you need to leave the children with the babysitter. Your goal is not to figure out who's right and who's wrong, not to try and convince her of anything, but to just hang out. I have a client who kept on pushing his wife to make a decision every time she got closer to him. The situation just got worse after that. You need to give your wife time. Plant the seeds that will grow into healthy sprouts with time. Don't rush anything. It's like throwing some potatoes in the ground and then digging them up the next day. You're gonna get the same as you had yesterday and nothing more. All you need to do now is enjoy your time together so that both of you feel good. Talk only positively. If your wife starts blaming you, there are several techniques for making the situation better. One is to agree with her, saying something like, "Yes, you're right, and I'm sorry that I wasn't good enough. But that's the past, which I can't change. I can only try to make the future better." If you have a special case that you'd like to discuss with me, please let me know. My contact details are in the comments section or in the description of this video. If you need step-by-step instruction on how to act and influence your wife, what to write and what to say, how long to wait for, etc., you can find them in the book Get Your Wife Back by Sergio Araiz and Gary Ideal by following the link under this video and in the comments section. Please like and subscribe to our channel. It will help us create more interesting and helpful content. And let us know if you have a story you'd like us to make into a video. We'll be happy to do so. Thank you all for watching. Good luck in getting your wife back.